Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today in this midweek? It's been raining, right? I hope you're doing fine. I can see naman with the smiles on your faces. Before we start, let's have Winona to lead us in prayer.
Let's come before the Lord in the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we praise you, we glorify you. You are the Son of God, you are our King. Lord, patawarin niyo po kami sa aming mga kasalanan. May you look in our faith, not on our sins. Lord, salamat po sa mga blessings na binibigay niyo po sa amin. Protektahan niyo po kami, lalo na sa panahon po ngayon. Protektahan niyo po yung family namin, loved ones, teachers, students, lahat po kami. Lord, protektahan niyo po kami. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Winona, for leading us in prayer. So I asked you a while ago, how are you today? Let's further that into our online kumustahan first. So, kamusta? And I prepared with you the secret sauces to being a kind human. Okay? And I want to know which of these sauces have you practiced recently. And you can tell us about it on the chat section here in our Zoom. I'll give you a head start. I will share mine. For me, I think I have practiced creating a safe space, this one, for others to share their opinions recently because there are a lot of social, political, and health issues that we are facing right now, and we need to be more welcoming and accepting to others people's opinion because in that way it helps us to verify and to test if the things that we believe in were really valid and true, right? How about you guys? Which of these sauces rather have you practiced recently? Can you tell us about it and something like a quick background of how you practiced it recently? Okay, I'll wait for your answers on the chat section. Okay, Winona's answer is she offered her support to others. How, Winona? How did you offer your support to others? Like, did you share some advice like that?
I was a member po ng isang community po and inactive po ako nung mga time na nagsistudy po ako kasi nagpo-focus po ako noon. And yung ngayong bakasyon po, nung nagbakasyon, yun, nag-try po ako na bumawi po ulit sa kanila. Yun, nag-support po ako sa mga ginagawa po nila.
Yeah, no, one thing good about pandemic is it gives you more time, right? To focus on other things that you have lapses before, like what Winona did. Darius said he treated others the way he wanted to be treated. So instead of minding his own problems, he shared that he would simply do my best to solve them one by one. That's so good. Okay, it's actually what I've been practicing lately. It's Kaizen. Dariel, I recommend you to read that book. It be 1% better each day. And rather than blaming it to someone, Dariel added that he would take his own part of the responsibility or that's being accountable on your decisions, right? That's very good, Dariel. What else? Jo Marie said that he was slow to anger. What made you angry lately? Jo Marie?
Ano, kapag parang hindi ko po nakukuha yung gusto ko or hindi po umaayon mga yung ibang tao po sa akin.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating and I get where you're coming from. Okay, but it's nice to know that little by little, of course, you're choosing to being slow to anger. So I was glad that you're able to share your quick stories on how you have been practicing being a kind human recently. And to move on with our lesson today, you have given learning package, right? That consists of various experiments, which are divided into parts, such as the pre-laboratory activity, laboratory proper, and the post-laboratory activities. Included in the package are the materials and the worksheets, right? The experiment worksheets. So let us start with the pre-laboratory activity in which you were presented illustration or a figure of a hydrologic cycle or simply the water cycle, right? Hydrologic cycle is just one of the many biogeochemical cycles that occurs in the ecosystem and is important in supporting the living things in the ecosystem. We know that most of the water that circulates in the water cycle comes from the bodies of water, both the marine and the freshwater bodies, right? However, as you can see in the diagram, there are plants there. Okay, so why is there plants in the diagram? How do plants contribute to the amount of water present in the water cycle or in the hydrologic cycle? Benedict, were you saying something? Benedict answered here on our chat. And he said that when plants transpire water on their leaves, some of it evaporates. Exactly. So the hydrologic cycle and the process of transpiration in plants are very closely related to each other. Why is that so, or how does it happen? Surprisingly, only 1% of the water that the plants take in were being used for their metabolic processes. These metabolic processes are chemical reactions that helps them to grow and develop. So what about the rest of the huge 99%? Where does it go? It is being transpired. It is being returned back into the atmosphere in the form of vapor. Okay. And that process is what we call the transpiration. That means that plants have a great role or impact in the process of the hydrologic cycle. So it is not only because of the bodies of water, but also because of living things such as the plants. All right. Next, in the laboratory proper activity, you have been introduced to concepts of vascular plants. Let's differentiate first vascular plants and non-vascular plants. So here's a picture, and just by observing it, how can you differentiate vascular plants to non-vascular plants just by looking at it?
Plants po ano po, more like parang matataas po sila ta's yung non-vascular plants,
Mhm.
'di po sila masyadong mataas tumubo.
Exactly. In vascular plants, they grow at a maximum height. Diba? In forests, you have their canopy because they are very tall plants. However, in non-vascular plants, they only grow very small. Actually, it's only up to 2 centimeters at a maximum. Okay, what else aside from the height or the size of the plant? What else do you think? In what environment do we usually find these plants?
We can see them usually in the forest.
Yeah, the vascular plants where they can get enough amount of sunlight, right? We usually find these plants in places where sunlight is very available. However, in non-vascular plants, you can see them, you can observe them in places which are damp and moist. So, what sets vascular plants apart from non-vascular plants is the presence of their vascular system, and that would be the xylem and phloem. In the laboratory proper activities, what have you discovered about xylem? Can you share?
Conducts water.
Okay, xylem, according to Winona, conducts water throughout the plant, and that is correct.
Sa na-research ko po, xylem has no end walls between cells while phloem po has sieve plates.
Yes, exactly, Marius. That's correct. Xylem, they do not have perforations, right? Or yung holes, the openings within the cells. However, in phloem, they consist those which contributes to the sieve tube elements. The one Marius mentioned was the sieve tube plates. All right, let's proceed to phloem. John Marie said phloem is for transporting sugars, protein, other organic molecules in plants. That's correct. But phloem is also used for the transport of water. All right. If xylem is solely for the transport of water, phloem is for the transport of water plus those other nutrients needed by the plants. All right? For our group discussion, as our post-lab activity, I want you to share your answers on your group mates and share your results as well. You're expected to discuss in the group discussion your hypotheses before you have done the experiment and what are the evidences that you have gathered during the experiment. And lastly, to share the results of your experiments together with the documentations on how did you really prove, right, that xylem and phloem is really present in the plant. Okay. We'll divide you into groups and then you can discuss your answers. We will have that for 3 to 5 minutes. All right? Okay, is everyone here na? Okay, so we're good to start. Let's start with Marius group.
Ito po yung result ng experiment ni John.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see po, gumana po yung dye, which made the white rose somewhat yellow.
Yes.
And ito po yung kay Marian na nag-violet po ang edge ng white rose.
Yes.
And ito po yung sa akin na kita po na dumaan po yung mga dyed water sa vessels ng petal.
Mm-hmm. What color were you assigned to?
Blue po yata, ma'am.
Blue. Okay.
And,
Mm-hmm.
yun lang po yung... So, sa nakita po namin result, we therefore conclude na dumadaan po yung tubig through vascular plants sa mga vessels po na nagtatravel po yung water. And nakita naman po sa mga result.
Okay. Okay, thanks Marius. Marius group, thank you. How about John Marie's group? Can you share your results with us?
Ayan, so, tinobserve ko po siya every hour. Tinry ko, nag-timer po ako noon and napansin ko po parang medyo nag-move po yung water dye dun sa leaves, pero hindi pa po siya dun nag-move dun sa petals. Po, yung dyed water naman po, nag-transport naman po siya dun sa stem kasi po may kulay po kahit papaano yung leaves. Number 2, yung evidences po na ano po namin is it can be po yung dyed water nag-reduce po dun sa ginamit na container. Yung dyed water po meron pong nag-travel po siya, nag-change naman po ng color yung petals.
So thank you for sharing that, Winona's group. Both of your experiments, all right, your hypotheses were true. So beforehand, you have an educated guess that the dyed water will really go up or be transported to any parts of the plant, right? However, we can also experience or observe that not all of the dyed water will be expected to be transported all, right? In the petals or in the leaves. Why is that so? Because we are subjecting the white rose, okay, the plant itself in an alternative environment, right? So, and given a period of time, I want to have a good remark on Winona's group when they said that you can observe that the water level on the plastic cup will be reduced on an observable amount, which means that that amount of water or dyed water has been absorbed by the plant, right? And in sharing your evidences, for example, those evidences shared by Marius group, they have gathered that, especially is it on Marius white rose, that the blue dye really went up to the petals of the white rose. With regards to your experiment, okay, it is all related to xylem and phloem vessels as part of the vascular system of the plants. In xylem vessels, which consists of tracheids, okay, the green ones, okay, and the vessels in itself, okay, the larger ones, okay, the water is only transported from the roots to the other parts of the plants, and its direction is only one way. Okay, because the roots respond to gravity, they are always in the ground, right? Except for aerial roots and some other modifications. Okay, so the water will be transported only upwards. Okay? There are no perforations since or the openings, unlike the phloem vessels, because the water needs to be transported upward only or in one direction. So it will not make sense if there are perforations because the water will just backflow. And through time, the xylem vessels will be matured and stiffened or hardened with lignin. That's why most of the vascular plants, they have stiff or hard stems. All right. For phloem vessels, it consists of two components, the companion cells and the sieve tube elements. Okay. The companion cells, they nourish. Okay, they contain sugar that nourishes the sieve tube elements. Unlike the xylem, it has perforations or the openings because it provides a two-way flow of sugar, proteins, other nutrients, plus water. Okay? It doesn't have lignin, so it doesn't mature over time and hardens. Okay? With regards to your experiment, do you have any questions or confusions? Or did you get everything right? Okay. Can I see thumbs up from your reactions there? Okay, for me to verify. Thanks, Dariel, Benedict. Lastly, since I've given you roses, okay, I want you to thank someone today. Okay, it may be your sibling, maybe your mom or dad, or it can be your who else that lives in your house, I guess. Okay, in that small vellum board, you can write something. I'll give you a minute, and then let's call someone later and let him or her share who's the person he wants or she wants to thank today. Hey, Dariel, who you want to thank today?
Ma'am, gusto ko pong pasalamatan yung tatay ko dahil po siya po yung laging siya po yung laging kalma, siya po yung laging nagsasabi sa amin na gawin na lang yung trabaho kaysa makipag-away pa kami.
Yeah, that's so sweet, Dariel. Dariel is thanking his dad. How about Benedict?
So,
Thanks everyone. That's nice.
I'd like to thank everyone lang po kasi especially this pandemic po, I'm taking my chances po to just create social conversations lang po. So, yung kahit ganitong gathering lang po is very well appreciated po. Especially ngayong pandemic na mahirap po makahanap ng makakausap. So, thank you so much po.
Wow. That's insightful. Thanks, Benedict. So that's it, guys. Thank you for sharing your afternoon with me, your rainy afternoon with me. I appreciate you all, and I hope you did learn something from me that you can, of course, use in your science classes sooner or later. Okay.